Good evening, one and all, and welcome to your Friday night edition of Fools Rush In, where tonight we will be previewing the FA Cup game at home to Bolton tomorrow, where if victory should be assured, everyone will be looking for that game at White Hart Lane, where everyone wins. So that Premier League tie would be fantastic. We will also be reflecting on what was an absolute piece of poetry in motion that was the game on Tuesday night, which saw our week of cup games start so successfully. And of course, we have all the women's football to round up as well. And in typical FRI fashion, we are live on Facebook, on YouTube, on X. So wherever you are tuning in around the world, with the exception, I understand, of Russia and Poland, where we're still banned, you are welcome to join in the discussion in the live chat. We can get your comments on the screen, including the traditional intro question, which is a real thinker today. What I would like to know from tonight's panel and from you is, which of these would you rather do? Would you A, rather fight a form of poultry every day when you leave the house, and every day it will be a different one? So it'll be a chicken, a turkey, a goose, a duck, something like that, every day as you leave the house? Or would you rather fight a lion once a month? So a poultry, a bird of some description every day, or a lion once a month? Which would you rather do? And good evening, Sean. Sean's first in the chat. Hope you are all good, pal. I mentioned that it was bloody cold here in Leicester. Sean tells me it's horrible there as well. At least it's nationwide. So yes, intro question, Swindon Town and all besides. We might throw in a bit of Ash's Corner. I'm sure we'll reflect on England getting the toughest possible draw in the longest, most drawn-out World Cup draw in the history of television, and anything else we can think of in the meantime, including the fact that it's now half-time in the Championship and Middlesbrough are 4-0 up away at Hull. So much to talk about. Let's start at the very beginning and welcome tonight's panel. Starting with the man who's been telling me all sorts of good news going on behind the camera, so to speak. So I'm very happy and delighted to say good evening, Nick. How are you, pal?
Yeah, I'm good, Fifey. So yeah, all things in different directions are looking up. So
good.
Yeah, had a good week.
Absolutely, absolutely. And obviously we'll be touching on the game very soon, but you will be in attendance at the County Ground tomorrow. Are you looking forward to it?
Massively. Yeah. Really looking forward to it. Talking about the weather, it's been absolutely lashing it down here. I don't know what it's like in Swindon, but hopefully, well, I can see me not getting parked in the cricket ground if it's really bad, if it's lashing it, which will be a real pain for me. So,
absolutely.
But I guess that's the way it goes.
It's just the way the cookie crumbles, as they say. Sean's getting straight involved in the intro question. He is definitely fighting a different bird every day. Dead cert a goner if fighting a lion. So the options were, Nick, would you rather fight some form of bird stroke poultry every day as you leave the house, or fight a lion once a month?
Well, I don't think you would do it more than once in fighting a lion. So no, you wouldn't, Fifey. So I think if
I've got the heart of a lion, but the body of a god.
Yeah, and the lion would rip it out. Unless you're on your last legs and you want to end it, go for the lion. But at least if you did the birds, the poultry, you've got a good chance of smacking it, and you've got a meal every night.
The thing is, mate, by the time you start getting to things like ostrich and emu, I think they're starting to take care of you as well.
True. But at least you've got
half a chance.
Yeah, a few weeks to get it going. And I guess it depends what tools you can get out your tool shed as well.
Well, exactly. Yeah. If you know they're going to be there, then you can go prepared, can't you?
That's it. Yeah, right, be prepared.
Well, let's say hello to our FRI teammate. Good evening, Ben.
Evening, gents. How are we today?
Very well, thank you, mate. Yourself?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm not bad today. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. It's going to be a good game.
Good. Yes. Well, let's hope so. Let's hope so. What is the forecast for tomorrow? Is it better than today or?
Sunshine and showers. We'll see how our new pitch works out.
The weatherman covering all the bases.
Well, I literally just checked as Nick was talking about it.
And what's the weather been like in Cheltenham today, Ben?
Absolutely pissing it heavily. Oh, horrible weather. Horrible weather. Deep, soaking you right through.
Everyone is experiencing the same, it seems. Ben, would you fancy your chances fighting a lion once a month, or are you taking a different bird of prey?
When you said it was
out the house.
When you said it was something to think about long and hard, it's like, oh, here we go. But it's not really one to think about, isn't it? Really, if you're going to fight a lion, you're going to be dinner. There's that period. But if you're fighting different poultry every day,
what if you're fighting like an old has-been lion?
You're still going to get munched, mate.
You've seen the claws on the lion.
It's just got to sit on you, and you've got no chance. Unless you're fighting a baby cub, then you've got literally not a chance. Yeah, give me a chicken, and I'll boot it across the road. And as Nick says, you've got dinner, ain't you? You do get some in ostrich, and they could like peck and stuff, and geese are evil, and so are swans and all that.
I'll tell you what,
but they got long necks. You can grab them and bring their neck.
Let's spice this up a bit then, boys, if it's that simple. Would you rather fight a sedated lion or a poisoned bird?
The lion needs to be seriously stoned.
Yeah.
A mild sedation isn't enough.
I mean, I need to throw it some Pringles or something to get some Monster Munch, get some Haribo, shut them out so it eats them, and then I'll be able to take it on.
Yeah. Give the princess. Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say, so there's your options: a mildly sedated lion or a poisoned infused bird.
It's still poison infused bird, because a mildly sedated lion is going to get you. You mean it needs to be like heavily sedated?
Yeah,
it needs to be
totally out of it. Yeah,
right. Okay.
And then you probably have a job to strangle it.
Yeah, you're still not going to win, but it's just got to sit on you. It's just sit on this done.
Of course, before all the quite right, the protesters and the welfare people get in touch. The intro question is always purely for banter, and we are not suggesting that you either poison an ostrich or sedate a lion. It's not
hypothetically. It's all hypothetical.
Right. Order of business, boys. I think we talk about tomorrow's game. We then let Ben have Ash's Corner before we then talk about Tuesday's game, and then we will cover all the rest of the topics. How does that sound?
Pretty good.
We have pedigree about us this year, Nick, of being able to take the scalp of higher league opposition. We've done it this week already, of course, with the game that we're going to talk about later, the victory over Peterborough in their own competition, I might add. So how confident, realistically, are you going into tomorrow's game at home to League One giants, Bolton Wanderers?
I'm confident that we will give them a good game. We'll talk about the result later. I think we will give them a good performance, and it depends both ways. What team we're able to put out, because it seems there are a few missing and a couple of doubts. But as we've said all season, we have got a decent squad. So that's not an excuse. And it depends how seriously they take it. And I think they will take it seriously, because obviously, they're wanting to get into the third round. They want a big tie. I mean, they are quite a decent sized club up north. So yeah, I think they will put out a strong team, probably stronger team than Rotherham put out in the last round. So it is going to be a tougher match. But we are at home. I had a look on to see what the ticket sales were looking like, and a lot of tickets have gone. So even the town end, the two stands behind the goal seem to be sold out. So hopefully that'll generate some noise from the town end. The Don Rogers, apart from Fool's Corner, that's pretty much, there's just a few odd seats scattered around that haven't been sold. So that's going to be packed in a good atmosphere in there. So it's all set up for a good afternoon's cup football, which is what we all want.
Ben, Nick alluded to it there, but Holloway announced, obviously Monroe suspended still, Oldacre out with an injury, Glatzel out with an injury. His main concern really is the lack of availability, especially with Butterworth's long-term injury, of anyone who can naturally play on that left-hand side. We know Kirk was still out as well. He has suggested that a couple of the younger players have been recalled from their loans to make up the numbers, particularly on the bench where he's allowed additional substitutes. How big a loss are these names? And in this squad that we have spoken so positively about, is the reinforcements there to still put out a strong enough team to take care of our higher league opposition?
Yeah, the left side's a little bit of concern. As long as Tafazzoli and striker's name is completely left me. Palmer's fit. We can get by with the rest, kind of. But they really do need to be. I think they're both past fit. I think they'll both play. But that's absolute guess. That's not in the know at all. But I think both Palmer and Tafazzoli will both play. But yeah, it is a problem. Oldacre does that. He's that creative midfielder. We've got Bolton that can play as a 10. You can you can stick Snowden in as 10 as well. I guess on the left side, you're going to have to probably stick McGregor there, unless you stick Snowden on the left so he can cut inside. There is options we can do that. Or we can change shape a little bit, just go for four at the back, and have the more of a defensive player like Knight Labelle play sort of a left back position, and then have McGregor also just a standard right back, which is probably more his suit position. So there's options to go there. We can always play about a little bit, but you want to be fully fit for a game like this to really stand a chance. But I agree with Nick. I think we can be competitive at least.
Well, let's speak to someone who is that way minded as to how we do counteract this. Good evening, Woody.
Good evening. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. I was going to join, but earlier, but my headphone has done a thing. It's kind of like
done a thing.
Broken up, and it's the microphone side, so it's rather annoying. So it's otherwise I'd have joined earlier, and I wasn't sure if I was able to join or not because I've had a bit of a manic week. My washing machine broke on Tuesday, I think, and Wednesday maybe. So I've actually had to go out to one of those 24-hour washing machines and tumble dryers this week, tonight, to wash all of our clothes. So I've had a bit of a manic evening, and I thought, have I got time to join Fools? I've always got time for Fools.
So just to clarify, you've gone into the in-depth description. Do you mean that you went to a ye olde laundrette?
Yes. Well, no, it's one of these new Revolution things. Like
you get to Tesco and they've got them in the supermarkets.
Yeah, this one was at the Aldi in Walton Bassett. It's like it's just like a pay-as-you-go washing machine almost.
Do you stand outside the black there for like an hour as it washes, or?
Well, so here's the clever thing, right? Here's what I did. We needed to do a little bit of shopping anyway, so we put the washing on, did a little bit of shopping in Aldi. Whilst there's car chargers at Aldi, so I had my car on charge as well.
What a man!
And to finish it all off, there's also a kebab van there. So me and Alicia basically had a fantastic date night.
Superb stuff.
And we got watching them.
Indeed. We were literally just starting to talk about tomorrow's game, and Holloway's big concern that he was talking about is the lack seemingly of availability on the left-hand side. Monroe suspended, Butterworth unavailable long term. Kirkman's still not available. Glatzel now injured as well. How do you see us counteracting the lack of natural width on our predominantly more utilised side?
Yeah, I mean, obviously tomorrow will be a game for Snowdon, won't it? But I haven't watched or listened to the pre-match. I do wonder if there is I think I caught Ben just as I joined. I do wonder if there is a little bit of mind games being played. I don't know what the so-say injury to Glatz is. I mean, he would look fine on Tuesday. So it depends what he might have done.
Picked up on Tuesday.
Yeah, but a knock, you know, a knock can be fine the following day, can't it? Or it can be fine a couple of days afterwards. So it could be, and it wouldn't surprise me because it's definitely his kind of tact at the moment, isn't it? In terms of, you would almost think because of the players he hasn't got available, you'd almost be able to predict who he might play. Now he's kind of put the feelings, actually, Glatzel might not play, you know, and things like that. So I think anybody, hopefully nobody from Bolton's watching this, but I do think anybody who's been kind of possibly on the fence over the last couple of weeks is probably not that bad.
The was that Paul Glatzel is out with a hamstring injury.
Don't hamstring.
You don't have a knock and do your hamstring.
No. The other thing, Fifey, he might be forced to put Clark into midfield if we're like in midfield. And for me, that would be a good thing.
Well, if he is forced to do that, then the good news for all the fans that have been waiting for it, Mbete is available again. He did say, he called it out. He said Mbete is available again. Tafazorli and Palmer, back on your original point, Ben. He had to wait until this morning to see how they came through a full training session before deciding if they were fit or not.
Yeah, they said they did a training session and he'll make a decision tomorrow, which I think they'll be in the boat. I think they'll both be in the squad. Hopefully both start, but especially if Glatz is gone. And Tafazorli is so important at the back because he's experienced and he's a good talker and he knows League One. So I think they'll both be shoehorned in.
I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to the same system as he did on Tuesday with kind of four, because he had four at the back on Tuesday. So I wouldn't be surprised if he does do that. And there'll be somebody who'll go left back because it's like the other week, didn't we? We've got about Ryan Delaney, and even he didn't play on Tuesday. So it's but yeah, obviously, who else is still out? That's the bit I missed when I was trying to tune my headphones. So Kirkman's still out.
So Finley suspended.
Yeah, I'm on about left-sided. Players.
Oh, left-sided. Sorry.
So Monroe's still suspended.
I just wonder if he'll go a bit more defensive and maybe play someone like McGregor left back, just tell McGregor to stay back and maybe have a little bit more attacking enthusiasm up top. Maybe someone like McGregor to stay back, but maybe have Bowden in front of him type thing as if he does a 4-2-3-1. Maybe that's what I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised to see Billy Bowden go in. To be fair, I'm just thinking who else is left-footed. Obviously, Clark's left-footed, but I agree with Nick. I think we'll see him back in the middle of the park. Yeah. Okay. I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head.
Ben, obviously no two games are the same, but carrying on from the original point I made to Nick when we started discussing the game, will the fact that we have already beaten higher league opposition and as recently as Tuesday, albeit in a different competition, give Swindon confidence that they can roll the dice again and progress in this cup?
Yeah, I think they can a little bit. I think I don't think Swindon have anything to fear. We're
fear either, Ben. He's coming home.
No, it's coming home. I think we're like 7 or 8 games undefeated. We've taken care of Rotherham away from home. We've beaten Peterborough. We've beaten Reading, even though I think Reading were playing a weaker team. That Peterborough team is pretty strong, and they were they were retaining it. They were going to a thruple, they called it. So, we played a pretty strong Peterborough team. We turned out winners then. So I think we can
We
go with
weren't playing
confidence
our
from that.
first team.
No, their team was stronger than ours. They were really annoyed, apart from Odo, which I think he was playing for us.
God, did he get some stick from their fans?
Oh, I saw that video.
There's a funny story with that Odo because I forgot who he was. I remembered him after the game, from how crappy he always has been, pretty much. But he actually, the first 5-10 minutes, I thought he started the game quite brightly. And I was sat with Joe and Rich, and I said to Joe, I went, "Oh, I tell you what, he's done all right, that number 10 for them." And I said, "He looks like he's going to be the threat." Straight after that, he's fallen over the ball. And then straight after that, again, he's skied a shot about 20 yards over. And Joe was like, "Who else is really good for Peterborough?"
Yeah.
To be fair, we so me and Kieran did the impromptu watch along as well on Tuesday night, and even by about an hour's, we were calling for him to be substituted because he was frustrating us and he was playing for the opposition.
Yeah,
obviously at one point in the second half he just swapped wings, and I was like, "Kieran, he's finally coming off," and he was like, "No, he's just swapped wings." I was like, "Oh, he's not going to be any better over there, trust me."
To be fair, he was our best defender, wasn't he? He was our best defender, to be fair to him.
Good on him. I think we can go into the game in a little bit of confidence, and I think they can go in. I don't think we've got anything to fear anyway.
Woody, what do you think is the best course of action for tomorrow for Swindon? Do you think it's try and play our natural game and attack and try and attack at will, be the dominant side at home? Or is there an element of, look, we are playing higher league opposition, a team with, recent, not very recent, but recent, much higher league experience and history about them as well. Treat them with the respect and maybe see out the first half and see what happens in the second.
I don't know if he'll be as reserved as the latter. He'll like the fact that we're at home, so I imagine we'll be a little bit more open. I personally think if we do sit back too much, we'll lose the game. Because I think Bolton won't. Obviously, they are League One opposition, but they're for me they're far from what we played on Tuesday, and they've got a lot more technicians in their side who will be able to undo those blocks. So I imagine, this is going to sound really, really basic and probably a little bit non-league. Tomorrow is just going to be all about work rate for Holloway. I think it's going to be all about absolute work your asses off for 60 and I'll change it at the 60th minute type thing. I wouldn't be surprised if we see 3 subs made on the 60th minute because it will all be about energy tomorrow. Not necessarily everybody behind the ball, but more everybody recover, everybody move forward, everybody recover, everybody move forward. Get the back 4, 3, whichever one it is, up to the halfway line as quick as possible. But if we lose that ball, we all drop in. We don't leave too many big gaps between defence and midfield. I generally think that's what Holloway's bread and butter is. I mean, he talks about it enough in his interviews. That's what his bread and butter is: hard work. And I think sometimes that's where there isn't always too much of a difference between League One and League Two, is the kind of fitness element. A League One team won't be that much fitter, if at all, than a League Two team. It's always the technical ability surrounding it, which is why you get so many big boy players in League One. So I think generally, I just think he's going to not necessarily go at them, but it's going to be we'll double up where we can as much as possible, and we're on them as much as possible for the first probably even an hour, I would say, and try and get. I think he might try and push for an early lead. I've got an inkling that, but I don't think it will be sit behind the ball and let them play, because they will beat us. We can't do that. We still, even with the team Holloway's got now, we're still not a very good team at just sitting behind the ball. We've learned from that a couple of times this season.
Nick, while I completely agree with the notion that Woody put out there that Bolton are going to be so much more than Peterborough were on Tuesday night, it's worth also noting that Swindon are likely to be so much more than they were on Tuesday night, because again, the team will get freshened up. It'll look something a lot closer to what we would consider our strongest and most informed starting 11. So it's not like we're just coming up against better opposition. We, in theory, will be better opposition for them as well.
Yeah, we will. Well, I guess we'll have as near to a first team as we can get, even with the injuries. Obviously, the big miss is Finn at left wing back. But I agree with Woody. I mean, logic says if you're playing a team from a higher league, keep it tight, hold for 20 minutes, don't concede. But we're not a team like that. We can't do that. If we do that, we will definitely fall behind. We will give away goals. So he's going to do his pressing game. He's going to press them hard. As Woody said, it's going to be work. Cut out the channels, stop them moving it forward. Just press as hard as we can, and then hopefully we'll get a break. They'll get frustrated, start making little mistakes, and that gives us an opportunity. So even though they're near the top end of the league, they've had some odd results.
A good one in the week though.
Yeah, well, looking at the league, they beat Bolton 4-0.
No, they
and
are.
Then, sorry, they beat Port Vale 4-0. I can't read what's in front of me. And then who was it? They beat Cardiff, which was a good victory, and they lose 3-0 to Burton Albion. So they are like most teams, I guess, in around the leagues in the lower, leagues 1, 2, can be inconsistent. So that gives you some hope that they can be there for the taking. And they only beat Peterborough 2-1, so they're not storming away with results. So we have got a good opportunity. But we'll have a stronger team, and no doubt to say they'll put out a relatively strong team. Whether it'll be their strongest, I guess they could leave 2 or 3 of their regulars on the bench. But obviously we'll find that out lunchtime tomorrow.
Ben, the guys have started to kind of make assumptions and guesswork and deductions from who's available as to what the shape might look like, with Clark into midfield being considered a key option. Do you see it being, again, if it's about energy and work rate, like the guys have said there, do you see it being a 3 in the middle of Kilkenny, Clark and Nichols?
Possibly, if he's concerned about pace at the back, because we do have Topazoli and Wright, we do need someone with a bit more speed at the back, and that's where Knight Nobel probably would fit in quite nicely, because we would like pace. And so maybe shifting Clark into the midfield would possibly be better. I personally think he's just going to stick this as per and have Bowden in as 10, and then have Kilkenny and Nichols in the middle, and he'll have Clark at left back. I think unless Bolton have a real speedy striker, which he's concerned about, then he might stick Knight Nobel in and stick Clark in midfield. Clark will play no matter what because he's the skipper, and I think Nichols will make way if that's the case. But we'll have to wait and see. We might change shape entirely. He might have something up his. He's Ian Holloway. He has something up his sleeve that we're not expecting. Yeah. It won't be as expected. There'll be some sort of raised eyebrow when the team sheet comes up, in my opinion.
Woody, Nick was talking. Oh, go on. You wanted to say something there?
I was going to say I actually forgot about Knight Nobel, to be fair. So I probably actually think he will probably revert back to a 3 and play Tafazoli in the middle of Wright and Knight Nobel.
Okay.
I think, to be fair, and then maybe Bowden left wing back potentially.
Maybe.
Because I did originally think before Tuesday, I thought he'll play Glatzel left wing back without Munro there. But I think as Ben just mentioned, Knight Nobel, who I was his biggest critic. To be fair, the last 3 games I think he's done really well, and he is that bit of pace that we probably need. But it does mean that we don't have a left-footed player at the back as the back 3. So it depends how in depth he's looking at that, I guess.
So could it actually be Knight, LaBelle, Tafazorli, Clark as a back three.
Possibly.
Yeah. But I just don't see him. I don't see him dropping right either. That's the problem. I think he doesn't. Although Wright, to be fair, I don't think Wright's necessarily performed badly the last couple of games. I thought he was all right on Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? But I think that he trusts. He doesn't like. I don't think the idea of continuously swapping Wright in and out of the team. Because Wright is a player I think that needs to continuous games in order to perform efficiently, and he's not the type. It sounds weird, but he's probably not the type of player that you want to bring off the bench either. You know, he's not a big gruesome lad who's going to rough players up like Tafazorli would, and he's not the type of player you're going to bring on to deal with pace in the last half an hour. So, actually, thinking about it, Wright's not a very good sub defender, to be fair. But then, obviously, you mentioned earlier that Mabete might still be in there. Can't Mabete play left back? I'm sure we've seen him stay there. He was there at some point this season when we desperately needed him. But yeah, who knows? Who knows? Maybe we'll just play like three. We'll play a right back, a centre back, and a centre back, and then not bother with a left back, like we did with Kyle Noyle that year. No, not Kyle Noyle. Who was the other lad? Romeo Hutton, where we kind of had lopsided. We didn't really have a left hand side. We just had a right hand side. So who knows? Who knows? But Nigel LaBelle's a very good point that Ben's made. So, but here we are talking about the fact that we've still got senior pros that we can slot in defence, and the only worry we've got is which one is left-footed. I mean, that's not a bad position to be in his credit.
Yeah. And given that I said at the start, Mabete is available, as Holloway referenced, and not even mentioned him in there as well. Is the other thing that Nick, you spoke about. You had a look at the ticketing availability and the bumper crowd that appears to be going to the game tomorrow. I know it seems cliche to say, but how important could that be for Swindon in this type of game where there is a chance that, flaws will be exposed by slightly better technical players? How important will it be that there is that crowd there backing them?
Yeah, it is, because if we can get the county ground rocking like it has in the past, and I say that the central part of the town end looks like it's pretty much sold out. It just seems to be the far side towards Stratton Bank where there were a lot of seats when I looked. So if the town end are in full voice, I say the recent games I've been to, the Don Rogers, there's a fair good bit of noise coming out of there. So if you can get at least those two sides, giving it, I don't know how, I haven't seen anywhere how many they're bringing and whether we've actually opened the bank. So that I don't know what's happening there. So, but I would imagine they will bring a lot of fans down. So they'll create that atmosphere. And it could be getting back to what we've been missing at the county ground is, two sets of fans going at it. And if we get the football to match it, I think with Holloway's recent shift in appreciation of the fans can only help. So let's hope the fans respond in the right way and give the team the level of support that will only help.
Yeah. Ben, what do you think is more important for Swindon tomorrow? Is it about being defensively resolute, or is it about being efficient in front of goal? We don't, again, there's a chance it could be a potentially long afternoon for Swindon if Bolton come and play at their absolute best. So is it about taking the chances when they come or being strong and resolute first and foremost?
I think it's about energy. I think it's about imposing ourselves into the game. I agree with Woody when he says if we just sit back, we're going to get beat. I think we just need to take them on. And I think we need to go hard. I think we need to want it more. I think we need to sort of bring them down to League Two level a little bit. You know, they're still just a playoff League One team, so they're not like a Championship or a Premier League side. They're not miles ahead of us. You know, our aspirations will be playing them on a level keel next season. That's our aspiration, and we are second in League Two. So we're not a million miles away behind them. So I think we can compete, and I just think we need to get at them. I think the crowd will go in our favour as well if we are, you know, competing, if we are putting the tackles in, if we've got the high energy, we've got, you know, if we're putting that into the match, then the fans will feed off that and the noise and the atmosphere, and that will carry the players through, and it will make it hard for Bolton. And because their fans as well got no ceiling, any noise they make just dissipates into the air. You know, you can't really get that much of an atmosphere, as, you know, when there's no noise reverberating. So it's all going to mainly be Swindon. So yeah, I think that's what we need to do, rather than just go, right, let's make sure we need to be clinical in front of goal, because we might only get 3 or 4 really good chances, and we need to put at least 2 of them away, because I don't think 1 goal is going to be enough. But I think they're going to come and try and beat us. Therefore, they are going to leave spaces for us to exploit, and we just need to be good enough to do that. And we need a big slice of luck. So there's going to be times that are going to be like really dodgy, really hairy moments where, you know, we are going to have to rely on more luck than judgment to get through. But it can happen.
Nick, a similar question for you. What do you think's more important, scoring first or not conceding first?
Oh, that's your good question for the evening. I would say scoring first, because that'll put them on the back foot. And I know it's against higher level opposition. Well. Yeah, and you know, we are most of the time good at coming from behind, so it's not a disaster if we concede first. So I say if we can get that first goal, again, that gets it on the right foot. As you say, we'll get the crowd going. Then it's the old story. Well, we need that second goal, and we do say that a lot. So for me, scoring first would be much better than worrying about conceding.
Okay. Right. Woody, it's that time then. You've heard everything the boys have had to say. You've been fed the lines that Holloway has had to say. So what is the 11 that are charged with securing passage to White Hart Lane in round 3?
White Hart Lane. Well, at least we'll win in round 3 if we're at White Hart Lane. So obviously it'll be Ripley. Based on what he has said, I think it'll be Knight Bell, Tafazoli, and Clark.
Okay.
Not that I think it should be that. That's what I think it will be.
Yeah, that's fine.
No. Yeah, no, I'm going with that. I think Joe Snowden wants to be right wing back. Kilkenny, Nichols in the centre, and Boding as left wing back if Glatzel's not fit. If Glatzel's fit, it'll be Glatzel.
Okay.
Palmer would lead the charge. Dryden will be on the right hand side of him. And if Glatzel's playing, Billy Bodin will be on the left hand side of Palmer. If he's not playing, I wouldn't be surprised if he puts Tabor in there.
Okay.
I think.
There has been...
So 3-4-3, I think it will be. But that 3 will be very much a 5-4-1 out of possession.
Okay. Ben, before I ask the question I was going to ask, do you agree with the assessment now, or is there any obvious name you would change?
I think we'll go 3-4-3, but I think we'll play Snowden on the left and McGregor on the right. And I think there's a call for Knight Labelle to play left-sided centre-back purely because of the pace, because the other two don't have it. I think Wright will start because Holloway likes his set plays. And I think midfield will be Clark and Kilkenny, Bowden at 10, and Drinan and Palmer up front.
Okay. Nick, just very quickly, are you kind of in line with those team selections?
Yeah, more or less. Say the three centre backs are the conundrum that we always have. I think I reluctantly agree with Woody that he'll go Knight, Labelle, Clark, and Wright. And no, actually, if Tapazola's in, it just says Knight, Labelle, Wright, Tapazoli. Snowden on the right, McGregor on the left, Clark, Kilkenny, Nichols, and then Drinan, if Palmer's not fit, Table.
Okay. Ben, we've spoken quite a bit already tonight about the defence and what's going to be required there. From the attack, we've heard from you guys there a probable return for a fit again, Ollie Palmer. Obviously, Drinan top goal scorer, but hasn't scored for a couple of games. Table could be included, who has come close but hasn't got that one yet. Bowden's picked up a couple, but they've been sort of few and far between. How important is it for a few of these guys to hit the back of the net and hit the back of the net soon? The other one, of course, Prince Will, who Holloway spoke about and said that he kind of needs the fans to get behind as well, because it's like the way he kind of described it, unless I misinterpreted what he was saying, he said that if Prince Will and Table tried the same thing, Table gets cheered, but Prince Will gets booed.
I think Prince Will is a confidence player. We've seen how good he can be when he was at Cardiff, but I don't think Prince Will is getting pelters like when he gets the ball. We're not booing him or anything like that. I think there's people a little bit fed up on social media, and we've had a little eye rolled about him because he's been generally rubbish at times. Because he may well be a confidence thing, and he is a young lad, and there is a talented boy in there somewhere, but his performances haven't been very good, and so he gets criticism for all those poor performances. I'm not saying he's a crap player, and he can kick on, and we've seen how good he can be. But that level of player we've seen far and few between. Yet Tabor has been quite exciting. He's looked quite lively when he's come on, and he looks like scoring goals, which sadly at the moment Abachaman hasn't. So. I think he's just kind of defending Abachaman, and because he knows he's going to have to probably use him a little bit. So he's just trying to big him up a little bit and getting fans kind of to cheer him on. And I do think he's a confident player, and he says that lad's quite quiet, and he's not quite, he's probably one of the quietest footballers he's ever met before. If he is quite someone who struggles with self-confidence, then that may be a reason to why he's not on free flowing, not the same players we saw at Cardiff. We want that Cardiff Abachaman. We want that one back, because that one is one of the better players in the league. But he's a bit hit miss, isn't he?
And the first part of the question regarding how important is it for some of these players to step up and really put the ball in the net?
It's vital, isn't it? We might only get about 4 or 5 chances, and if that's going to be the case, we're going to have to score at least two, maybe 3 to get through. So we're going to have to take our chances. Drinan's buzzing, full of confidence. Palmer's a 1 in 5 chancer. He doesn't get many. He does need a chance, but he can, nick a goal here and there. We've been, with the big man, we can be a little bit more dangerous in set plays, free kicks around the area, direct free kicks. We've got Wright. There's a chance for the possibility of goals. There's goals in our team.
Free kick ratio than Beckham, remember?
Yes, he's better. Well, his average game, if you count off average free kicks, Wright scores, and average free kicks, Beckham scores this season. I think Wright wins. So I'm going to stand by that, and I will stand by that. Beckham's scored more high-profile free kicks in the bigger games, obviously.
Maybe right at this point in time, you might be right, Ben. Yeah, at this point in time, Wright scores more free kicks a season than Beckham.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Beckham is 50 odd, isn't he? I'm going to die on that hill. You know how stubborn I can be. So yeah, no, I think there's enough goals in there to win the game. You know, we score. One thing you notice about Swindon, if you look at the amount of players that have scored goals this season, it must be like 10 or 12 players. There's a ridiculous amount of players that have scored this season. So, you know, any given time, someone can score.
It's 15, isn't it? Isn't it 15 players have scored?
I didn't count. I've not counted, but it's a ridiculous amount of players that have scored. So, you know, there's goals all over the pitch. So I think that we're capable of nicking 1 or 2, but I think we need to at least 2 goals.
Woody, we should take a moment to actually talk about Bolton and the threat that they're going to offer, aside from just playing in the league above. Again, Holloway took time out to speak about it's Schumacher, isn't it, their coach, I believe, and said that he knew from coming to it was known from an early age the level of coach he was going to be. So, what are you expecting from Bolton tomorrow?
Well, given that they've had a bit of a mix and match of form pretty much over the whole season, I think somebody posted, I think it was Pete, posted earlier about Bolton now 19th in the form table based on the last 6 away results. I think they may be a team that are probably over creative maybe on the ball. I have to admit I've not really seen much of Bolton. I mean, I've got literally zero connection with League One, so I never really have a reason to watch League One. But
they draw a lot.
Yeah, and I just think that maybe they, you know, I've not looked at their. To be fair, I've completely come unprepared, and I'm the wrong person for this question. But they draw a lot, but looking down at the tables and stuff, they don't concede a lot. So they might be the type of kind of. They try to block it out away, but they do it at home type thing. But the problem is this is FA Cup football. So it's like we all know, it's that old cliche. It's a one-off. It's 90 minutes. And I personally think we're just going to see a team that are just going to try to be better than us technically. And I think they're just going to try. They'll probably have players that are quicker than ours. They'll move the ball well, as most teams do in the top half of that division. They'll play the old, again, another old cliche, they'll play through the thirds. They won't be as direct as we probably can be. We will be a bit more direct tomorrow. I'm expecting us to be a little bit, if we're in the sucker zones where we've just relieved a load of pressure, I wouldn't be surprised to see Palmer being very much used as a target man tomorrow. But equally, you know, if you look at, they may be not doing very well in their last away, but they haven't lost in 5. Lost in the last 5 games, I think it is. So I am expecting them to be confident, and they will be coming here with the intent of not winning 1-0 and going home. They'll be coming here with the intent of similar to what we need to do. They'll be looking for a couple of goals. So I imagine they'll be very quick out of the back, probably get it through the middle pretty quickly, and then it'll be kind of those 1-2 touches in the final third.
Ben, while Woody was talking there, I've done a very, very brief bit of statistical analysis for you just to help with your punditry, if that's okay. In his 10-year career to date, Will Wright is credited with scoring 22 career goals. That's total. That's so he scored 22 goals in his career. How many Sir David Beckham is credited with scoring 65 free kicks alone. Never mind all of his other goals. 65 free kicks.
Well, Dave Beckham's had his full career. Will Wright's what, 25?
25.
And he's a centre back.
29 years old.
He's 20. He's not 29, is he?
I'm sure he's like 28, 29, yeah.
How old is Will Wright? Google how old. I thought he's like 25.
I don't think he's 25. Hang on. 28 and a half years old.
28 and a half.
He was born in June and we're now in December, so.
Yeah, 28 and a half. Right, okay. Well, Dave Beckham only got about, it felt like Dave Beckham during his career, he scored about 2 or 3 free kicks a season.
65 free kicks in his career.
65 free kicks. So, okay. So it's probably about, if he played for, it's about 4 or 5 free kicks a season. Will Wright's probably getting about 3 or 4 free kicks a season or so of recent, since he got good at them at Swindon. So yeah, I can bend that.
And he scored.
Oh, bend it like Beckham.
Bend it like Will Wright.
And he scored 114 career goals.
Good for Becks, yeah. Good.
Throwing it out there for you.
Yeah.
He says Prince will just needs a bit of confidence. He will come good. Now, I do believe because it's the early rounds, there's no replays. It's extra time and penalties again.
Yeah, it's kind of not what we want.
So let's find out exactly what you think is going to happen. We've been talking about 45 minutes about this game now. You've had all the time to make this decision. Ben, I will come to you first. How does this game end tomorrow?
I think it's going to finish 2-2 in 90 minutes. Then I think we're going to win it 3-2 in extra time. But I think we're going to be absolutely knackered for Tuesday.
Okay. Let's go to Woody next.
I think this game will be over in 20 minutes. 20 minutes. 20 minutes.
4-0 Bolton.
Woody, if that happens, man.
It's not going to be older shot. But so I'm going to be honest. All day long, I've been thinking we're going to lose 2-1.
Okay.
I'm trying to be optimistic, but thanks to you guys coming on and telling me that we've got more injuries.
Yeah.
I'm not so optimistic. No, do you know what? Because I'm not there, we're going to win 3-2 in 9 minutes.
Nice.
9 minutes.
And Nick?
Yeah, and this is me being optimistic about the result. I'm going 1-1 after 90, 2-2 extra time, and the game will go to penalties.
We get no scored on.
Which way penalties will go.
Okay. If it does go to penalties, Nick, does Lewis Ward pull a Tim Krul, come on in with a couple of minutes to go and go in goal?
No, he won't do that.
No? Okay.
If it goes to penalties, Ripley is not saving one. The only way you'll win it is if it goes wide or over. Because Ripley, as much as I like Ripley, and I'm probably one of the least people to criticise him, he's not very good at penalties.
He's not got close to one, has he? Since he's been with us.
Well, there we go.
No, because he wouldn't be able to anyway fight because he'd have used all his subs by then.
True.
Well,
there we go. That's what the guys think. Let us know what you think. Sean's saying 1-1 after 90, winner in extra time. Okay, let's turn attention away from Swindon Town for a minute. Ben, I will give you roughly 7 minutes for Ash's Corner.
I don't think I need 7 minutes to be quite fair. Well, I am with Swindon. I'm the opposite with England as I am with Swindon. I think today's been a dreadful day's play. For anyone who does it, who is at least a bit interested in the cricket. England at the close of day 2. Well, the Aussies are about 44 runs ahead of England with 4 wickets in hand.
Yeah.
The wicket is just starting to, as you can see, make out. The cracks are just starting to show on the wicket, so it's going to start doing a little bit more. The good thing for England is the Aussies will have to bat last on it. England will have some sort of lead, but what sort of lead and if it's going to be any good is being whittled away. personally, I think Aussies will bat on tomorrow, which means if they bat for a session, they'll have a lead of about 140. That's going to be way too much. And then England will still have to face a newer ball or a pretty new ball when the dusk comes in and the evening comes in, and the people will start swinging about a lot more than it has been done before, because the ball's harder, because the ball's newer, so it's going to be a lot harder to stay in against Mitch Starc, who's the number one left-arm seamer that's probably ever lived in his home conditions and the best bowler that's ever bowled on record with a pink ball. I really find it hard to see how England get out of this one. And after that,
not only that,
England
Ben,
lose, I can't see anything else than a 5-0 win, because this Aussie team is a bit like a virtual paint trophy Aussie team, where their big hitters are still to come back. And if we're 2 down when their big hitters come back, we're not winning a single game. It's going to be 5-0. The lads were quite chipper about it on the old chat, but I think there's too much to do, and I think the drop catches will have cost us. At the moment, Leeds 44, unless England skip them out for get the last 4 wickets for 10, 15, 20 runs, which is possible but highly unlikely. I think we're done.
I also heard, just to make matters worse for you, Ben, and I'm sure you'll know if this is correct or not, the Australian batsman, whose name I can never pronounce properly, is also now the only ever batsman in day-night cricket to score over 1,000 runs after his
Marnus Lavishane is fantastic batsman. He's been horribly out of form for years. He was just about dropped from the Aussie team. But then just before England come in, his form kicks on state cricket. He starts scoring about 300 or 400s on the spin, and he's back to his old best again, and he's cracking runs and looking brilliant. His partnership today with Steve Smith was superb. England's bowling was dreadful today. It was all over the place. England needed a performance like they did in the first test and at Perth in the first innings, but we sprayed it about. We let them we let their batsmen get in. It got a little bit better as the day got on, but by then the damage was done. It's been an awful day, to be quite honest, for England. A really awful day, and it could well cost us the Ashes. It's not good.
Okay. Woody, if we're doing Ashes Corner, does that mean is it next week or the week after, we should also be doing PDC Corner?
Yeah, why not? Why not? It'd be a bit of a laugh, wouldn't it? Like, I'm very invested this year, so I'm hoping to, I'm even trying to find a bloody sticker book. So just because it's a bit different, and you lads would have seen just before you went on air, I sent round the PDC Fantasy. God knows how that's going to work. That'd be good fun. So yeah, but there seems to be a very good vibe about the PDC.
Ben hears PDC Fantasy and he just dreams of us winning the trophy again.
Yeah. That's what we're talking about it. That's what we're talking about it. Yeah, but it seems like, even if I'm looking around, I don't know if it's just because like my algorithms and all that now show it a lot more, but there does seem to be a bit of a hype around the PDC World Championships this year in particular. So,
well, did you hear the big news? I think, was it yesterday or the day before?
What's the big news?
Because it's held at Alexandra Palace, isn't it? But they finally been approved to put it into the main hall, so that's an extra 2,500 fans for every session. Because the one thing the dance needs is more screaming people.
Yeah, and more people further back so they can't see the board. No, but that. Do you know what? This is we talk about. This is the same thing, kind of almost the same cycle cricket went on, isn't it? Like, they started. They needed somebody to kind of springboard it. They needed it could have been a youngster, it could have been anything really. And like, obviously the littler effect is, even though it's a youngster coming through, so it's interested youngsters, all of a sudden more and more people are interested in it. And it was almost like the kind of Phil Taylor era. Maybe people got bored of it, in the nicest. And don't get me wrong, the guy is an incredible player, but maybe people are starting to get a bit bored of it now. Although Littler he's an absolute machine. There's there's a lot more kind of players that are making people turn their heads a little bit now and stuff like that. So even I've started to look and go, oh, there's a couple of dark horses here who might go quite far, and things like that. So I'll have my wall chart up. I've got to find a printer with an A3 so I can put my wall chart in my corner, in my lad's corner here, and we'll go from there, I think. So yeah.
Okay, well, keep your eyes and ears peeled as not just Ash's Corner continues, but the PDC Corner will open as well for all things darts. Nick, any sport you want to have a random corner of an episode for?
No, not really. Sorry,
You're
being
How's the
boring,
archery?
but
How is the
No,
archery
that's-
going, Nick?
yeah, that got a session tomorrow. The last 2 sessions were pretty good. I'd missed a couple because of football and in the live show, and then the one after that it was pretty crap, and I thought, oh, this ain't getting any better. But the last 2 weeks have been pretty good. But no, unfortunately, archery is a spectator sport. You only really see it at the Olympics, and there's no jeopardy in it, is it? It's pretty boring. You can appreciate the skill that they've got, but it's 10, 10, 10, 10, 9, 10, 10. It's such a high level that, there's no change to how they score.
What they should do with archery is they stick a target on some bloke's back and he zigzags. And you've just got punishment as he zigzags away. I think they should do that.
I was going to say
a giant dartboard.
Yeah, I was going to say it's going to be 10s and 9s until they start putting really drunk people in fancy dress in rows of tables behind each other. Then we'll see.
I know. After each, like what you got to do is you do archery, and then you sink a pint, and then you do another go, and then you sink another pint, and then
you got to Barry Hearn's fucking marketing school for this.
Yeah, I'll be brilliant.
Yeah.
So after 10 targets, you're 10 pints in, then the schools will be well interested.
Yeah, I might have a
I think
chance
we
then.
should do that. I actually make that into the Olympics. I don't think I think we'll be up for that. That will be an Olympic sport.
Actually, one way it would be interesting, when I was over at Mortley Marsh on an archery session and chatting to one of the people that organise it, she was telling me that she did archery on horseback. Now that would be good to watch.
That would be good.
Yeah,
especially as they go jumping over the fences.
that's it.
Yeah. Is it archery as a rowing? Is it a game of rowing?
Yeah, that's
Do you know what?
Archery and equestrian. You've got to get your horse to land in a certain pose every time.
That's it. Yeah.
Or you got to do an equestrian as
like
people
that.
are shooting you with archery. Help!
Hey, we're getting there. We're getting it sorted. We'll soon be on
Do you
to
know
something.
what? I'm sure Woz has had a bet on more suspect sports than this. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
Lipo wants to know where's the Hawes and Ben 90s pod? Well, unfortunately,
Oh,
the man
yes.
behind the voice of BBC Wiltshire is very busy right now because he's just signed up to do a new podcast with Sam Morshead.
That's true. Do you know, I bet he does it with Morshead as well. He does the 90s pod one. I'd be gutted that he does that.
It won't be the
But
same,
yeah,
don't
I
worry.
still think we should do a 90s one.
Maybe I could get you, Craig and Mark on it to start with.
Yeah, Craig and Mark would be quite good as well. Craig does a bit of 90s. Nick as well. Nick was there. Nick
Nah.
watched it all. Nick
was
talked
there.
about it.
No, I missed a lot, Ben.
Don't worry,
Missed a
20
lot of
2026.
games.
we have lots of plans for additional content on FRI, so you never know what's around the corner. Anyway, back to the job at hand. And you guys saw it. We did a watch along as well. Let's have a brief reflection on Tuesday. I think if I was to describe it, I would say that it was a first half of nothingness, almost Zero happened in the first half. We were talking off camera, and Nick, I think it was you, asked me how the watch long went, and I said, well, the first half was that entertaining. Me and Kieran didn't mention the football once. We were talking about aftershaves and advent calendars and anything else we could think of other than the football. Second half, for the most part, was a lot better. There seemed a lot more intensity, a lot more intent. It still wasn't the best quality game any of us would have seen all season, but we got the result and roll on the draw on Saturday. That's how I would describe it. Anyway, Nick, what was your thoughts on it?
Well, yes, it's similar to what you said. I thought they probably second half shaded it football-wise without really threatening, although we never really looked like scoring ourselves. And I actually put, even saying that they didn't threaten, I actually put Ward as man of the match because he pulled off some actual crucial saves at times when the times they did threaten. So I thought Wardy had a good game. But I was looking at some of the comments from their fans, and they were going absolutely crazy. They were saying it's a typical performance. We do lots of sideways passing. We get to the edge of the area and we don't know what we're doing. And that
very Luke Williams, that
very, very much. And that's what they're saying. We're happy to pass it around, but and then we don't know what to do with it. So I guess from that point of view, you can understand where they're coming from. And we got it with with a cracking goal at the end. Really, really, really good goal. And it's always nice to get a late goal. And I think, did we deserve it? No, probably we weren't any better than them. We weren't a lot worse. Say they played probably prettier football, but didn't get them anywhere. So we got the crucial goal, and as we all say, that's the only numbers that you need to look at. So, well pleased to get through. Say it's not everybody's favourite competition, but obviously the further you go in it, the better it gets. And I see what some of the videos that have been sent out from their fans saying, "Oh, well done to Swindon on winning the Virtue Trophy," and it was showing clips. I mean, there was all the 16, 17, 18-year-olds right next to their fans giving it large when we scored, and it's like, it's just really funny to watch. So, I think the crowd reaction when we scored seemed to be good, loud. Yep. So can't ask much more than that, can you?
Much to Holloway's dismay, I did throw a que sera into the Fool's WhatsApp chat. I'm sure he wouldn't be happy if he knew about that. Would you want
no, he wants Wembley, doesn't he? He wants Wembley, so he can't moan about that because he said he wants Wembley. So,
Woody, what was your takeaway for Tuesday?
Probably slightly controversially to a lot of people. I didn't think the game was that bad, to be fair. I thought the first half was relatively end-to-end, just not much produced by either team in the final third. It did die out a little bit with about 10 minutes to go in the first half. I thought we defended well for pretty much throughout, to be fair, considering the opposition, and almost a compliment that they bought what's his face on Lisby. Yeah, they bought him on with some time to spare as well. So compliments probably to us, because although he probably was always in the plan to play, I think they wouldn't have planned to bring him on when it was 0-0. The atmosphere was good, considering only one stand was open. I thought the atmosphere was good. I think Peterborough did what Peterborough do, or Luke Williams does. They had a hell of a lot of possession, and obviously Wardy probably getting the plaudits he deserves. He pulled off one very vital save right at the end, but we had our attempts. I think Clark could have scored not long after he come on. He was
should
very
have scored,
close.
yeah.
He should have scored. I think Tabor came close, but almost had too much time on his hands and just didn't shoot. Which that was quite confusing. But then Peterborough equally, there was an opportunity where we did joke because they should have squared it, and we joked that because it was a Udo on the other side, that's why they didn't square it, and they shot instead. But no, I mean, it was never going to be like the group games because both teams have. There's a little, obviously, it's got a little bit extra about it in the when it gets to the knockout stages, and you can't make up for it in the next game because it's again that cup cliche of it being a one-off game. I didn't think it was bad. You look at the stats; it gave us 27 shots on goal, 17, 27, of which 17 of them were Peterborough. Which, considering Luke Williams said after the game they didn't do enough in the final third, kind of makes you think maybe they did. We were just on top of it. But what I did like was it did show that we can defend quite well. I didn't like. I think it was Nick that said they didn't really look like they were going to score. Like they didn't. In particular, again, Knight Labau I thought was brilliant. To be fair, I thought there was some good stand up. McGregor was superb. That's definitely the type of game McGregor needed, I think, to kind of get out of this. You know, he's been slowly, hasn't he, coming out of this almost dip in form he had a few games ago. He's coming slowly out of it again.
Well, that's interesting because normally where I'm a big champion of McGregor, there was quite a few times I found myself like, oh no, he's having an absolute howler here.
Yeah, but I think I thought he was pretty solid defensively, personally. But to be fair, there wasn't too many players apart from. I really don't want to use him as a scapegoat, but I thought Princeville was poor. But yeah, I don't buy this. I know he's a confidence player, but I don't buy this argument. The guy's come from Southampton. You know, I'm expecting his first touches to be better. I'm expecting him to be a bit better under pressure, and things like that. You know, and actually, to be fair, that Cardiff game probably didn't do him any favours because we were playing against arguably a B team, but a League One B team, and it was his only good game for us. It was his only good game, in my opinion. So but in the good plus side, it was probably good to see Holloway give him 90 minutes because he was able to see him over the whole period. Dryden looked effective when he came on, which was good. Tabor again, he just needs a goal, and he excites everybody. I like his press, I like his enthusiasm. He just needs a goal, and I think I said to Joe, and Joe kind of nodded along. I think once he gets that goal, I think he'll be he might hit a bit of a purple patch then. I think. Yeah, so there was a couple. Obviously, Clark had a major effect on the game. I know he missed that 1-on-1, but he's also scored the winner. Do you know one player that? Sorry, I know you've asked me just a little short opinion on this, but one player that I was really impressed with that I thought, and I know not everybody will agree, but I was looking at his off the ball work as well. Was actually Billy Bowden. To be fair, I was a bit shocked to see him come off unless there is an intention to play him tomorrow. So yeah, and yeah, given Ball 50 odd minute. I mean, that guy's an absolute tank, by the way. Absolute specimen of a man. So he's but overall good defensive performance, and obviously we got what we needed out of the game.
Ben, Wimbledon, Bristol Rovers, Luton Town, Northampton Town, Plymouth Argyle, Walsall, or Colchester / West Ham under 21s. Where would you like to go next?
Really, I'm not really that bothered. It's like a home game against someone. I'm not really not bothered. Home. I'd rather probably avoid Luton because they've got decent. Yeah, I'd rather avoid Luton. I wouldn't mind taking on West Ham again because I think players might use that personal and quite enjoy knocking them out after they were twats.
They got to get past Colchester first.
Yeah, but if they do get past, because one thing I do not want is Colchester away. But Yeah, I think if the West Ham and they do knock out Colchester, I would like West Ham. I would like to knock them out after being absolute twats. The game itself.
Can we all do another cheeky Tuesday night in Northampton away?
Oh, I could do that actually. Yeah, I'll be up for that. We could go. We can get a what's it called? The chips.
The chips, Five Guys.
Five Guys, yeah, I remember that. I remember Craig and chips eating. He kept nicking everyone's chips, didn't he? Yeah. Five Guys and chips, definitely. So the game itself wasn't that much. But Hayley came round to watch it, and the following day she had to go to hospital with a torn retina. So it was. It's true.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh. It's you.
She probably watched it. Actually, yeah, no, she's like. I invited her to come watch the game. It wasn't the greatest spectacle, but yeah, the goal was really well taken. But it wasn't a great game. That might be because of the lack of intent. It did have a lack of intensity in the game. There was moments of some decent football from both teams, but it did lack a little bit of intensity. But yeah, anyone at home really, and get well soon, Hayley.
Why are you re-flashing up comments that I put up time ago?
Oh, because I didn't read it earlier, but it's a very good point. That's what I'm saying. Will Wright's great pass. Snowden's first touch was brilliant past that defender, and then it was intended for Clark, but Clark got on the end of it, and it was a very good finish.
Clark did his interview as well. He shin padded it in. It hit shin pads, and he could have blagged that and said that was a superb side foot finish, but yeah, shinned it in. Fair enough.
Well, the draw, as I say, is being made tomorrow. We will find out who is next in the way of us achieving our destiny of getting to and winning at Wembley.
It's actually the last 16, but for the southern area bit, it's the quarter-final, and then it's the semi-final, and then it's the final two legs. Or just one.
Yeah, it's the two-legged area. Yeah, it's still the two-legged area final, I believe. And
two-legged area final, and then the final is wobbly.
Yeah.
But the semi-final finals, you could get anybody. It's not regionalised anymore, is it?
Is it the semi-final? Anyone?
I thought it stayed.
I thought it was all regional. I think a regional final. Yeah, for a regional final, and then you get a proper final.
Yeah, but that's basically a semi-final, isn't it? In real proper terms.
So don't confuse the situation, Nick, by giving it a different name.
What? It's a semi-final.
There's
14 how the layout is. Right. Can you just comment below?
Section area final.
The final four teams, you can be playing anybody of the other three. It's not regionalised.
No, I don't believe so. I don't believe that's correct.
I am 100%.
Oh, okay, fine.
If someone can confirm, and
I'll bow down to that's fine. I'll bow down to Nick's knowledge.
What is it? So right, let me get this right, because there is. So we are on the. This is not the quarterfinals. This is the last 16. Then there's a quarterfinal. Then there's
which is regionalised.
Regionalised. So it just gets the semi-final, but the semi-final could be anywhere in the country, and then you got your final.
Yes. Correct.
Right. Cool. We now know. You can tell we go far in this competition quite a lot. Not regional semis. Nick, we apologise. I apologise. I'm thinking right back to when we actually did something in this competition. You've got to think back to the days of Paolo. So, it's a bit different now.
Yes, Peter says, I think Nick is correct. They changed it this year. Right, it's time for everyone's favourite new jingle.
What is women's football pick of the week? Bassett, Swindon, a caution to see. One big match, the spotlight's clear. Your fixture focus starts right here. What is pick of the week?
Oh, it's so disappointing that my headphones don't like music being played through StreamYard, unlike my now broken ones. Because it's very quiet when that plays now, which is very upsetting. So this weekend, nowhere near as exciting as last weekend. Is probably obviously we saw last week a very good win for Swindon Town women. Very good win actually. I saw some of I missed the last two goals of the game, but yeah. So if we start with them, they will be away to Portishead. Portishead have only picked up one win so far this season. They're on the back of a loss to Abingdon. There's a little bit of connection with Portishead. There's a few crossovers and things like that. So, but given the Portishead are kind of in the struggling, despite them being the home team, I do see that one being a bit of a Swindon demolition, so to speak. So I wouldn't be surprised. So therefore, that one isn't my pick of the week for this week. Bringing in next is Bassett. They are away to Brislington, if I remember rightly. Yep, Brislington. Again, Brislington, similar to the Swindon counterparts. Brislington are actually rock bottom of the league, though. Bassett obviously looking to continue their pretty impressive start to this season. Off the back of a very, very good win last week. I can't remember if we spoke about it on Monday at all, but very, very good win over Whitchurch, which strangely helped put Corsham at the top of the table. But yeah, obviously, again, weather could depend on a lot of things. I'm not sure about Brislington's pitch, but it's again another game. Given the 5-0 romping that they did of Whitchurch, I imagine Bassett won't be going into this or walking away with a 1-0 or 2-0. I imagine that will be a few goals to the good, to put it nicely. So that does leave my pick of the week, which this week is our friends at Corsham. Corsham obviously now looking for an opportunity to stay top of the league, because at the moment, not that you would say the league's in their hands, but there's definitely a good, now's the opportunity to start pulling away from teams, given that they've won 7 of the first 7. They have Downend Flyers. The reason that's my pick of the week is because I watched Downend against Bassett, and I think although Corsham are the home team, which is another reason why I picked them for the game of the week, I think that Downend aren't as, I don't want to say bad because that's probably disrespectful, but they're not as weak as maybe their league suggestion, their league table place say. League position, thank you. You can tell I've had a long day at work. So Downend, although I said at the beginning of the season, Downend will be another one of those teams that nobody would like to go to their grounds, but they may struggle away from their grounds. I think Corsham will be looking to keep that good record going, and I think it will be a game for the likes of Shannon Redhouse. I think she's playing, or I haven't heard anything otherwise. Excuse me. So I do think that maybe the difference between obviously Corsham and Bassett for me is that central line of someone like Shannon Redhouse. Obviously, Bassett have got pace in Maddie Elliott, but Shannon has already started to terrorise teams all over. So I do think, although it'll be a Corsham win, I think that's going to be the game that is going to be the spectacle this week for me.
Okay. So
that is my pick of the week. Corsham, 2:00 at Corsham Town Football Club, assuming the weather stays off on Sunday, and good food. Always nice chips there.
Excellent. So we should turn our attentions then to the any other business section, and it's only right that we start with the fact that this week we have seen that football, despite the fact it is a passion of all of ours that we talk about at least twice a week live on the internet, is an absolute farce. Whether you're 5-1 up and you've still not seen the game out and somehow win 5-4, or you have the next day Villa in a 7-goal thriller winning 4-3, or you get Donald Trump winning peace prizes and the village people signing off a FIFA event where the World Cup, that they worked out, someone did the maths, it took longer than an actual game of football for the first ball to be drawn in the FIFA World Cup draw. But before the open circumstance was done, the draw was made. England got quite possibly the worst group they could possibly imagine. Scotland got Haiti and Brazil. Well, there's some good groups. There's not some good groups, but the World Cup is there. It's all in place. I jest, of course. England are going to get 9 points from their group. Certainly, there's no one of any quality. It's only Croatia. It's only Ghana, and it's only who was the other one? Panama. Absolutely zero quality in England's group. Guaranteed 9 points, Nick. Yeah.
I'm not so worried about the group stages. We'll do okay in that. It's once you get out of the group stages where it looks quite a tough route to get through to the final. So, yeah, group stages will be all right. I don't see should have anything major to worry about. If you start worrying about that, well, there's something wrong. We should go there with confidence, with a good enough team and squad, and the way he's working them. But after that, for me, is once it gets into the serious knockout rounds, that's where there's a lot of jeopardy in there.
So, Ben, according to Talk Sport, they released a post. They said, if England win Group L, this would be their likely route to the final. They would then play host nation Mexico in the round of 16 before facing Brazil in the quarterfinal, France in the semi-final, and then meeting either Spain or Argentina in the final.
Wonderful. Well, if football does come home that year, we've not spawned it, have we? We've absolutely earned it.
Exactly.
To knock out, last 16, Mexico are hard enough as it is anyway, just to play them around the 16. But to play them in front of their own fans in their own World Cup, bit tough. And then who's got this? Who's France, was it, did you say?
Brazil next.
Oh, Brazil. Yeah, then it's the small matter of Brazil, about five times winners Brazil.
So we don't have to worry about that because as I posted in the WhatsApp chat, if you look at Brazil's group, they're going to struggle to get out of it. And the reason they're going to struggle to get out of it is because Morocco are going to win their group because Morocco are actually decent. Scotland are going to kick off with a confidence-boosting win over Haiti. They will lose to Morocco. But then given that this is the worst Brazil team anyone has ever seen in the history of football, Scotland will surprise them and knock them out in the group stages. So it'll actually be...
Sorry, who would it be then if Brazil get
Scotland? Morocco or Scotland in the next round?
I would I'd love to draw to make it that England played Scotland. I'd love to play Scotland in a knockout game. How good would that be? Honestly, if you played at what times? Games are like 4 a.m, aren't they? The pubs. Oh,
depends where they are, isn't it?
Yeah, I think England. Is it England and Houston or something like that? Some really hot place England are, aren't they?
It'll get sorted tomorrow. There's basically 2 options for every game at the moment. But we should also say, in the interest of fairness, that if the likes of obviously Wales could still qualify, Republic of Ireland could still qualify, and if they do, they're getting through a playoff to end up in a group that they could piss all over. They got the easiest.
Yeah, no, Rich is very confident of winning the World Cup.
Winning the World Cup.
Yeah, Rich is very confident. Well, the way he was talking on WhatsApp will piss that group. Okay, but we'll have to wait and see. Really,
I'll be honest. Given that he's not here, and I know he never watches these episodes back, I don't think they get past the Czech Republic anyway.
No, to be honest, I think Ireland is shit. But there you go. The actual group, the whole thing was a farce, by the way. They didn't know what they were doing. Shaq O'Neal, look, what was wrong with Shaq anyway? But the whole thing, you know, they were getting the wrong cues, going to the wrong people. Rio was fluffing his lines. And Trump clearly only said, I'll come on to do it as long as you give me an award, a peace award or some notes to it.
Did you not see him dancing to the village people at the end?
Oh, was he doing his whole thingy again? He was doing his wanking off a giant. Yeah, it was clearly. See, what my initial thoughts were like is what has Trump done? Football related to earn a peace prize, football related. So my thoughts were thinking
before we get carried away and this becomes a thing I never thought I'd hear myself say is I'm going to give Trump a bit of credit here. Because he was asked some questions. I think it was by Gianni Infantino at the time, and he said two things which made a lot of sense. He said, one, we in America call it soccer, but everyone else calls it football. We have a clash with that because we have American football, but it actually makes sense that your game is called football because it's played with your feet. Ours aren't. Maybe we should have a different name for our game, was one thing he said. I'll give him credit for that. And secondly, he said, I shouldn't really say this because it points out how old I am, but I remember many, many years ago, I saw a player by the name of Pelé play for the New York Cosmos and thought, he's quite good. I imagine he's probably one of the best players ever. No shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, no, I think you might be told that. But I still don't understand why some win like a peace prize in football, unless he's he's turned up and a load of Millwall and West Ham fans are on a bit of a ruck, and he's turned up and got everyone to calm down, chill out a little bit. Like, lads, honestly, give us your Stone Island. You don't need that anymore. Let's just talk this over. Get your top boy and your top boy. We'll all get together. We'll all get together. Get your top boy and his top boy from the West Ham and the Millwall. We'll get together. We have a great time. It was totally awesome. And, you know, they got together and, you know, he ended ultra violence in football, and he done all that, and he cured ultra violence, and so for that, the president of FIFA went, "You've done it. Congratulations, peace prize. All this violence is going on in football. You've stopped it, Trump. Totally awesome." And he's done it. So fair play to Trump for curing football violence and ultras.
On the back of Ben's sort of half Donald Trump, half Justin Bieber impression, I can't imagine that ABC or NBC will be asking FRI to cover their World Cup coverage.
Yeah, well, to be quite honest, what the fuck is that? Just have him on and just say, like, honorably something. Don't give him peace. What the fuck's he got? It's got to be football related. Like, okay, he's done. He says he's stopped these 8 wars. Brilliant. Well done. I'm not sure that, but he does blow his own trumpet, doesn't he? But what's it got to
clarify? In the last 2 minutes, Ben has gone with the wanking off or whatever he said, and then he's just made this gesture as well.
Yeah, okay. But I'm not going to let this go. What has a peace prize got to do with the World Cup? Honestly, he's just done. He's only come on unless they give him some sort of. There's a little gold medallion there, really proud of himself and so, mate. So yeah, the whole thing was a bit farce, wasn't it? You know, I think he just wanted to look big in front of Canada. To be quite honest, the Canadian Prime Minister was there.
Ben, we don't care.
Yeah, I'm going to shut up now. Sorry to anyone, especially any Trump supporters.
I'm saying we don't care what he was doing.
No, we don't. No, we don't care. But yeah, it's just what the hell is he doing there? I know he was hosting it, so he's probably there, but he didn't need a big interview. It's just the draw. I remember when he did the FA Cup. Do you remember they drew Swindon Town in the League Cup or something? There was Palace versus Swindon in the League Cup. Do you not notice this in the video? There's a video that he pulled the FA Cup, and I think he pulled Swindon Town versus Crystal Palace in the FA Cup draw. It's online somewhere, and he was doing that. It's like the late 80s or something like that.
Right, well, shutting Ben up for a bit. How do you think Tuchel will be feeling tonight?
Is that me?
Yes.
Yeah, I've been quiet.
Sorry, I didn't. Yeah. I, to be honest, you look. This is the first World Cup where the increase in teams. So I do think that the having a hard or an easy group is not really a given. I think Tuchel is probably full of confidence still. Obviously, I don't think he was worried too much about what the fans think. But the last couple of games has probably brought a little bit more attacking sense. So when we're looking at the teams we're up against, I mean, Croatia aren't the same team that we played in the semi-final a few years ago. Because I think even after that, we beat them 4-0 in the qualifiers. Like was it the same year? Might have been even all the year after. So Ghana, again, you're always going to get an African nation that will perform really well. I still
We did
remember when
so
it was
well against the last African nation we played as well.
Who was that?
Senegal earlier this year.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So, but then
Jojo's kind of a blinder.
Every year there's always a player that an African nation that does well, or every World Cup. Obviously, I remember when it was it France '98 when Senegal just came on. Not France '98, that's way too far back. But Senegal in one of the World Cups.
2002, Senegal beat France.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, that's
they got each other in this. They got each other in this World Cup as well.
Do you think Jojo Walcott's going to knock England out in the World Cup?
Why not?
I don't think Ghana are going to be as strong as people fear. I mean, did someone say that like Kudus? I mean, he's been Spursed, so we'll be all right. So yeah, I was having a look. I've got it up in front of me. That's why I'm looking at the screen here, like the way I am. South Africa, I don't think are going to be pushovers. I don't know, some of these teams, I'm not even sure where they are in the world. But yeah, I think there's other teams such as your Algerias and things like that will probably actually be a bit stronger than Ghana, I think. So I'm actually quite pleased with our group. The only thing I kind of wish we did have was, I know the fixtures have already been released or being released. So I kind of wish we had Croatia last. Because if there is a team that's going to upset us, it's going to be Croatia. Even though they're not the same team, they're still, for me, probably the second strongest team in that group.
Do you think Modric should still be playing for him at the age of 57?
It's still probably still do a job as well. To be fair,
he was above you. He was above your year above you at school, wasn't he, Nick?
Right, that's Croatians and Americans pissed off in the last minutes. But yeah, no, I think Tuchel. What I want Tuchel to think is he's got an England team that's capable of winning the World Cup, and I think it shouldn't. And I think Nick kind of mentioned it earlier. I had to pop up because I was wondering why my heating was on. I think that it doesn't matter who you play in the group stages, because we're either do shit in the group stages and still go through, or we're absolutely walk them. And it's when the knockout stages come through, and that's why I was kind of hoping we'd have someone like Croatia last, because hopefully we would have built up the confidence from Ghana and Panama with hopefully some goals, and get some goals early. And then go into the knockout rounds with a bit of extra tail between our legs. But we like the second, third ranked team in the world at the moment, or something silly. So we got one fourth. Okay. I thought it was higher because of our qualification route. But there's no reason not to be confident. There's not many teams in that World Cup that have won every single game in their group stage with a new manager. So as much as I criticise, I was worried about Tuchel. We can't deny the fact that he did go on and have a perfect record almost. I don't think we conceded. How many goals did we concede?
Not a single goal conceded.
Not a single goal. Yeah,
Not one.
yeah. So regardless, you can only play what's in front of you, right? But it is a pretty much a perfect record going into the World Cup, and there's not many teams. So I think he could have drawn against anybody and he'd be feeling confident.
Lovely. Okay, gentlemen, I think we call it a day there. It's been a pleasure to spend the last hour and a bit with you. Enjoy the game tomorrow. If you were also going to the game, enjoy, be loud, be proud. And do you know what? I really fancy a cup run. So let's make sure our name's in the hat for the third round. Because that would be good fun, wouldn't it? Have a fantastic weekend, everyone. We will be back on Monday to review everything that's happened. But until then, from myself, from Ben, Woody, Nick, and the rest of the Fools, take care. Have a great weekend. Goodbye.
Take my hand, take my whole life too, but I can't help falling in love with